Hey folks, welcome to Market Technical Analysis by InTheMoneyStocks.com, your leader in pure technical analysis, avoiding all that Wall Street hype. Today, Thursday, July 10th, 2008. Well folks, today was one of the wildest market trading days on an intraday period I have ever seen in my trading career. Volume was intense, there was tons of volume out there, the market was every which way, there were many negatives throughout the course of the day, and this market still fought back positive. Alright, and we're going to go over a play-by-play of what happened in this market because it was so intricate, and today, we'll have to see how things go, but today I take as a very bullish day in the markets. Even though the indexes necessarily didn't show as monstrous gains as the losses were yesterday or the previous day's gains, it was the way in which it happened and the pressure that was on this market that still showed tremendous strength out there by the end of the day. Now, the Dow was up about 81 points, the NASDAQ up 23, and the S&P was up about 9 points. So overall, that was a nice day, but it was really the way it happened, and this is so unbelievable. I mean, those of you that are coming back from work and kind of just watching the video probably don't have the sense of the intricacies of the market moves today, but I'm going to try and do my best to play-by-play that for you all. Alright, well, I'm going to throw up the intraday chart of the ES, so while we talk about this, you can look at the whipsaws in this market. But it was, again, one of the wildest swings in the market I have ever seen on an intraday period. Now, what you're seeing here, folks, is the futures are trading slightly positive right over here. And this is pre-market. We're talking about 5 a.m. Eastern Time, so very early in the morning. And then you get to this point where you start to see a little bit of a move up in the markets. Alright, you're seeing the markets trending higher. You get the jobs number coming out at 8:30, and you get a nice spike up on the jobs number, but then right as that goes up to about plus 10 on the futures, and we're talking about the ES U8 contract, which is the September 08 E-Mini S&P 500 contract, then you saw the market start to reverse. And what happened here was you got a little positive economic news about retail sales from Walmart and the jobs report pre-market, and that really boosted the market. But then right away you got fear of financials coming back, and this fear was unbelievable. Alright, and what we saw was the market just starting to sell. And you can see this reversal bar. This is where the jobs report came out, and you've got a spike to the high. Notice the double top right here, and then a reversal and a close much lower. And this is where things just started to get ugly early in the day. And you got the market just start selling for about half an hour to an hour until you get a nice little tail on this. Then you get a little more trading down and then a spike up. But notice the size of these candles every which way. And the market was whipping back and forth, and the financials were getting pounded early, pre-market, right up into the open. They were getting decimated. Freddie Mac, Fannie Mae, Lehman, you name it, these things got crushed. Let's even look at Lehman. Lehman still closed down $1.44 today, and this was down $2, almost $2, $1.50 lower than this was. Alright, so an unbelievable move there in the markets, and overall, just some crazy stuff going on out there, folks. Alright, and here you can see the FNM chart, Federal National Mortgage Association, and you can see that was down $2 to $13. So the financials were under intense pressure today, guys. And this is going to be key because here's a negative, right? We talked about the three keys to the market and how if this market's going to rally, we need all three of those working together. Well, today none of them worked together, and the market still eked out a gain. So let's go back to that futures chart, all right? So again, you're seeing the whipsaws. You see the top here where Walmart came out with good sales. You see the jobs number, and that's the top of the market. You start to sell, you get a dive down, then you get a spike up on the open of the market where the financials caught a bid, then a harder sell down here, and then the market starts to whipsaw up, down, up, and you get a triple top here. Look at that triple top. Alright, and at that triple top, you all of a sudden get more of a sell. Now, what happened right here? Because down here, you had the NASDAQ and the market down, it was getting a little ugly, and it was getting a little worrisome, because remember the level we talked about on the futures? Alright, this level down here that had to hold, but we were testing that level on an intraday period. This is where we're testing that level, guys, and you can see the double bottom today on the intraday period. So there's so many technical issues at work in this market, and yesterday we talked about how key this market was on holding those lows. If this market, I mean, it was an ugly sell-off yesterday, there was no doubt about it, and it basically, the only thing worse would have been a close below those lows, and that's what we said. We said this market, if this turn date is true, which usually our calculations are almost spot on, and you guys know our track record on that, if this calculation is going to be on, we cannot close below those lows. And today you tested the lows 2 times on the intraday period, and each time you rallied off of them. But what happened right here? What caused this spike down to a double bottom, and why did it stop at that double bottom? Why didn't it go lower? Well, this is what we're going to talk about here, because look at the USO chart. This is, notice the time, guys, 2:30, right? 2:30, 2 o'clock to 2:30 is when we saw the spike down. Everyone knows spot crude closes at 2:30. What happened? Let's look at the USO. Here we are. The crude is basically a non-event most of the day, up slightly on the day, up $1 to $2 most of the day in this trading range. At 2 o'clock, all of a sudden you get a mega spike, and this is a super spike, what I like to call a super spike, where it just took off with a vengeance. And before you know it, crude was up from $1.50 to $5 to $6 per barrel. And at that point, the markets got slammed. And we'll go back to the ES chart here and look at this drop in the markets. But notice, it comes right down to a double bottom, takes out the double bottom by a tick or two. And this is what's so unbelievable as traders who are technical traders. I talk about this in so many videos. Double bottoms are never exact double bottoms. They take out the low by a tick or two, or a couple pennies, or 10 cents, 20 cents, and then they reverse it because they want to take out the weak hands and the stops that have their stops right at that double bottom. That's why if I'm a trader, I'm never putting a stop right at a double bottom. I put it a little bit below, so then if that happens, I don't get whipsawed out, because look at the rally that happened. And the amazing thing about today, folks, and I wish this video was longer, but I can only do 10 to 11 minutes on YouTube, but once these videos are on our website, personally on our website, you guys can come, and I'll do much, much more in-depth videos. They'll be longer if they need to be. There'll be more technicals involved, but once we get them up there, that'll be fantastic. They can be, you know, if they have to be 15 minutes, 20 minutes, they got to be that way if I got to go into that. But nonetheless, you saw the market fight back with all its vengeance here and close positive on the day, and all the indexes closed up strong. Decent bounce on the day after an ugly sell-off yesterday, after a tremendous rally the day before that. Now, our turn date period was last Thursday, and then Friday was closed for July 4th, Monday, Tuesday. Now, you got oil to drop down, which helped the markets get that buoy up on Tuesday. Then Wednesday we had the hard reversal, and that was the key. And we went over the keys in this market. If this market was going to continue on that up move, you had to see those lows get held on the SPY as well. And let's look at those today. So let's go to the SPY on the daily. And look, we did not close below the lows. We actually took out the low by a tick and then closed near the highs of the day on the SPY. So this is going to be key, guys, going forward. And again, we're not out of the woods yet, and I want to repeat that because it's so important. We are not out of the woods by any stretch, but we still believe that this is a bottom in the formation right here. Alright, but the way you're going to know is if we do not close below these lows. You close below this low down here, then you expect more downside, and it's as simple as that. You watch those lows. Today was a tremendous push up. Not because of the amount the market went up, and most people won't realize that, and I like that, believe it or not. I like that the average person out there is not going to realize what a powerful move up today was, and I'll explain that again. Number one, you had crude oil up $5 to $6 by the end of the day. You had the XLF, which is the financials, and I'll punch that up, down on the day. Okay, look at the financials. Weak on the day. Alright, we closed right near the lows here on the chart, on the daily chart. It was down 12 cents on the day. It was down much more at one point. But the key here is 2 of the 3, and then you had the UUP, which was basically flat to slightly lower, which is the dollar index that I follow, basically flat on the day. So you had nothing good out there in the markets, and here we are, the futures rallying, going back to the intraday futures, going back and closing right at the triple top high. And that's why I would dare say that today was, believe it or not, even though the futures and the markets didn't show that it was that tremendous a day, and it was still a nice day. You know, NASDAQ up 22 is nothing to shake off, but it was the way it was done and the fight back that it was done that was so impressive. And you had Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, Lehman, Merrill Lynch, you name it. Financials were in a bloodbath again today. Oil was up 5 to 6, and you still had the market getting off its tush here and rallying to the highs of the day to close. All right, on the futures, and you can see that right here. So again, I do want to put out a note of caution. We're still in that bottoming pattern from our turn date, where we're still holding at lows, and that's the key here. Good move up today. Can we continue tomorrow? Now, the problem is this, guys. I don't care what we say. Yes, it was a fantastic move up in the markets, considering oil was up $5 to $6 and the financials were weak, but the financials need to get a bid here, and oil cannot go back to the highs and break the highs of 145 to 146. That is imperative, and I want to repeat that. That's so imperative. If we start breaking highs on the oil and breaking lows again on the XLF, the market will not be able to survive this bounce. This is a fantastic move in the market, a sign that there was buyers out there, especially because of the volume. Now, I want to show you the volume here, guys. Look at the volume today. All right? Going back, have we had a day of volume as big as we did today? Absolutely not. All the way back in my chart. Absolutely huge volume, 436 million on the SPY traded today. That's again a sign of strength, the fact that with those commodities up and the financials weak, you still had that much volume and the market still closed up. So there are a lot of indicators here pointing to a possible bounce in this market. But again, the financials need to stop going down. I won't even ask them for much of a move up. They just need to halt their move down, and oil has to not go back to the highs here. If oil goes up $1 or $2 tomorrow, that's not a huge deal. You can't see it back to 145 to 146 and 147 breaking the highs. That would be an extreme negative. Either way, guys, come join the chat room. This chat room is for the elitists, the amateurs, the pros, anyone that wants to learn the technical analysis, depictions, the questions asked, top of the line. People call out their trades in that room. I talk about trades all day as possibles. Come join it. Come join the swing trade alerts as well. If you need private consulting, we're here to help all the time. This is one of the wildest markets out there. Come use us. We're here as an asset. Have a wonderful day, guys. Watch this market tomorrow. Take care.